Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen to? And how do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of those questions is really simply Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, guys, it is 100% free and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to do your podcast. I record my podcast, The Live Past Crazy Show, in my own time when I'm comfortable. I love that it's on my phone and it doesn't require a lot of extra equipment. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. Again, that's anchor.fm/start, and I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. My name is Yarmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist, so what better place to be than here with me. I appreciate everyone taking the time out to listen to the podcast, and it is my sincere hope that what we share is something that you can use to help you and someone you know live past crazy. The purpose of the show, if this is your first time, thank you so much for taking time out to join me. I truly and gratefully appreciate you. The purpose of the show, and as we start to bring guests in, is to give you something to think about, so that you are more mindful of your actions and your habits and your thoughts and just overall things that we may incorporate in our lives that we may not necessarily be aware of. They help to shape us into things that we may not be conscious of. And so a lot of times I'm going to put thoughts and suggestions and questions out there just to give you something to think about, because it is our thoughts that shape our future. What you are living today is the result of the thought that you had last week, last month, and last year. You are living the reality of whatever it was that you were thinking last month, last year, last week. And so I want to encourage you just to keep an open mind and to perhaps think something a little differently. So today's topic is, you've got to take responsibility for your personal growth and for your life. It cannot be delegated. It absolutely cannot be delegated. What you'll find is a lot of times we allow life to give us an excuse not to take responsibility for who we are, where we're going, and what we want to do. We find that we would rather say it's the job, it's the crazy people I work with, it's the crazy person I'm married to, and we have an excuse for everybody in our lives except for ourselves. And when we give an excuse to a situation or to someone else, then we are releasing ourselves from responsibility of doing something about the behavior that we do not like. Your personal growth, your personal life, where you want to go, and the things you want to do absolutely cannot be delegated. You cannot make it anyone else's responsibility. It is yours and yours alone. It's not your parents. It's not your friends. It's not your family. It's not your job. It is not anybody else other than yours. I always tell people, when you get tired of something, you'll do something about it. And I think a lot of times, and if you pay attention to things, we are so comfortable in our habits that we like to tell the story of our struggle because we like the end result of what people give us. So we like telling the story of struggle and strife because we know at the end of the story, the result that we're going to get is that someone's going to feel sorry for us. They're going to participate in our pity party. They're going to help us or monetarily help us. And they're going to do something that we are not taking responsibility to do. And so we hold on to that story. And some people fear that if they take responsibility and do something different and do greater in their life, then they're not going to get the result of telling that story anymore. And then what story are they going to tell? They may not have the same story to tell. Oh, I'm broke. I have no money. I hate this job. And these people keep doing this to me. When in all actuality, it is your personal responsibility to take action on the things that you do not like. If you know what you do not like, you are in an absolute best place to figure out what it is that you do like. Because if you don't like something, then it has got to be the complete opposite of what you do like. And so take some time to think about that. What are you not taking responsibility for? And then what are the things that you do not like in your life that you can perhaps change if you took responsibility to do so and not make it somebody else's decision? I once read an article about people on their deathbed, and one of their biggest regret was the things that they did not do in the life that they did not lead. I don't want you to be on your deathbed or be terminally ill and thinking that you have wasted your life. You don't want to do that. What is your life accomplishing? What are your children, your friends, and your family seeing you accomplish? Are they seeing you work hard every day and then come home to complain? So now that your children think and your friends and family think that's what we're supposed to do, we go to work, we come home, we complain, we watch TV, we eat, we don't do anything, and we repeat that cycle for 35, 40 years, and then we retire, and then we just sit there. What are you doing? What are you accomplishing with your life? Even if, and so, please understand that I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because there are some people, and that is their greatest desire, is to go to work, take care of their family, and come home, and they have no other greater desire not to own a business, not to change the world. That is their true desire. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, it is my goal and my dream to perhaps educate you, inspire you to want something different, because we all have a dream. When you think back to your childhood, you had these huge goals and dreams, and it wasn't until you got older that people began to put their doubts and fears on you that you changed your dreams to fit their lifestyle. So think about that today. Are you wasting your life? What are you really accomplishing with your life? Think about the dreams that you used to have as a kid. I personally wanted to be Superwoman. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be President of the United States. I wanted to travel the world, and I wanted to rule the free world. I know I had huge goals as a kid. But think about that. What are some of the things the goals that you had as a kid that you put aside because you allowed other people to put their restrictions on you? And now that you are more aware, what are you going to do about that? What responsibility are you going to take for yourself? That the responsibility that you can't delegate to anybody else, because it's not anybody else's responsibility other than yours. What are you going to do to accomplish the things that you want to do? You know, that dream that you've always had, that thought that you've always thought, right before you wake up and right when you go to bed, or when you're driving home, you're like, man, I've always wanted to do this. I always knew if I could just create this one thing. Why don't you do that today? Why don't you step out there and see because we already know what happens when we don't step out and we don't take responsibility for what we want to do. So let's try today, stepping out there to see what would happen if we took responsibility for our actions and we did not delegate our self-growth, our personal change, or anything else to anyone else other than ourselves. I challenge you to do that today. Take some time to think about that today. What is your life accomplishing? What is that you want your children to see, your family to see that you are accomplishing? Because whether you believe it or not, you are leaving life legacies. You are leaving clues to how to live life to your family. They are paying attention to you every day. And what you do every day is leaving a pattern. You're leaving a legacy for what your children will do, your family will do every single day. I love the Waddell name. And for me, I watched my father. There were certain things I watched my father do every day. I love the Twitty name. And there were certain things I watched my grandfather do every day. And it was things that was instilled in me. Your name is who you are. It is what you have. Do your work and do it with excellence. Those are the things that were instilled in me, not because they sat down and talked to me. That they did not. What they did is they showed that to me in their actions every single day. So your actions, your words are building life legacies and building routines and patterns for your family and for generations to follow you to come. So think about that. If you took responsibility for your actions and for your self-growth and you just tried something different today, instead of delegating it to someone else, what could you accomplish? Think about that. All right, guys, this has been a short Live Past Crazy show. That was just really heavy on my heart, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm always looking for someone to interview on the show, so if you know anyone who would love to be a part of the Live Past Crazy show because they have seen crazy in their life and they have lived past it, send them on over my way. My email is info@BAFearless.com. And I thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy show with me. I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and I'm glad you spent your time here with me. If you'd like to know more about why I know crazy and about my fearless journey, I invite you to check out my website, BAFearless.com. And as you all know, you can find me on social media. I am the only Young Mitra JoJo Waddell out there. So if you Google me, you will find all my information on social media. And remember, as a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialists, individuals are able to identify what is crazy for them in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. If you know anybody who needs to live past crazy, or perhaps if that's you, send them on over my way, because I promise there is life after crazy. I hope you have a great day, and remember, you have to take responsibility for your personal growth, your personal outcomes. You absolutely cannot delegate it to anyone else. It is only your responsibility.